I'm Randy Alvarez. Welcome to this week's Randy Alvarez Video Blog Marketing Report. What should you invest in to attract new business, new customers? What should you invest in? I'm going to tell you here, invest in your attitude. You know, before you buy that $100,000 computer system for your practice, or before you get Botox and a facelift and lose 50, 60 pounds, and all of those things might be important to you. But the first thing you have to change is your attitude. A positive attitude will make you more attractive. A positive attitude will make customers come your way. They say what we oftentimes remember about somebody beyond their smile is their attitude, this positive attitude. So if you want more business, if you want to keep more of the patients that you have, then you have to increase your attitude. Your team, do an attitude check with your team. Very important. Don't become cynical of people that are doing really well. Study the great ones in your industry. Look at what they're doing. Look at their YouTube videos. Look at the way they present. No matter what business you're in, there's probably somebody getting the results you want. Look at their videos. Study them. Listen to the words that come out of their mouth. Don't be cynical. I looked up cynical, and I'm going to read this off to you. Okay? Are you cynical? It says, it's believing that people are motivated by self-interest, distrustful of human sincerity or integrity. The second part of the definition, believing as to whether something will happen or is worthwhile. The best people in your industry usually are writing books about it. Read their books. Some of you, because you've had your feelings hurt before, you become cynical. I tried that, it didn't work. I know a lot of people that they think just because you're number one or just because you're successful that you're distrustful or you're dishonest. And it makes these people pass on a lot of great marketing and advertising opportunities. They're everywhere. Find out what the leaders in your business are doing and try to do it. If you have no budget, start small. If you have a big budget and you want to pick it up a notch, start with your attitude. All of us could increase our attitude. I went to a major meeting about a week ago in Los Angeles. About 2,000, maybe 2,500 doctors there. And it stood out to me that the most successful doctors were the ones with the most positive attitude. I left the conversation walking away going, that guy is a great guy. Well, what was I liked about him? His smile? No, it was this attitude of greatness. Great athletes have it. Great doctors have it. Great business people have it. They're visionaries. They're positive about the future, not negative. I met several doctors that, I'm recognizable to a few people at these doctor conventions. They come up to me. They have a few things to say. And it's so funny that the miserable doctors stick out like a sore thumb. One comes up to me and says, oh yeah, there's 2 doctors on your show. These guys are terrible. Both of them. The worst in their industry. I said, really? I said, okay. And, they say, win an argument, lose a sale. I went over the line, I think, with one of these guys. But I said, so what do you know about either one of these doctors? And they were both different professions. And both, completely different industries. And I go, have you ever met them? No, never met them. And I said, what about, have you read any one of their New York Times best-selling books that are to the public? Haven't read them. And I said, you had all those nasty things to say about them, and you don't know a thing about them. You're negative. Are you jealous, as we say on my slide when I'm lecturing, are you jealous that your less intelligent competitor is more successful than you? So look, you negative guys, and I should mention, look, the demographic, the psychographic of people that are even watching this video are usually positive, open-minded people. My message today is, you want to be remembered? You want to attract new patients? Pick up your attitude, okay? Get that magnetic personality. And you don't have to be enthusiastic. You could just be charming. You could have this positive aura about you. There was a book that I read years ago. I don't even know if it's still in print. It was called Charisma. At 21 years old, I was in search of, I wanted charisma, right? And I'm And you're probably thinking, well, Randy, you've always been charismatic. No, it wasn't always that way. Or maybe I was always charismatic. You know, they say babies are all born charismatic. They're all smiling, they're happy, they cry. Everything is well, that's another topic. But have you lost a little bit of your charisma because of business or because of the economy? I'm saying pick it up a notch. Get positive. Make the choice today to have an impact on people. Smile with your teeth when you're at the bank or with the next person you meet or with the waiter or waitress. Quit holding your face in an unhappy position. I say before you get the facelift, the liposuction, before you spend all the money on all of these systems or a $10,000 consultant to go into your practice, start with your attitude. And the best way to do it is to read positive information and to study business leaders in your field. More importantly, if you watch the bad news on TV 30 minutes a day, and by the way, I think it leaks in. Bad news leaks in your personality. The other day, I'm not going to mention the name, somebody here at the Wellness Hour put in a lean cuisine, a mashed potato, and it was kind of a meat and mashed potatoes. The whole studio smelled like mashed potatoes. We were all hungry for food because of the aroma. And I'm here to tell you, if you're watching bad news, local news, bad news, it's seeping into you and you're becoming negative. Don't let it happen to you. I did the math. 30 minutes a day of bad news, negative news. Somebody gets shot, crime in your area. I'm talking about local news, not business news. Local bad news. 30 minutes a day. Guess what happens at the end of a year? I did the math. 29 and a half working days, 8-hour working days of you hearing bad news. And you don't think that's rubbing off on you? These negative people, what happens? Let me tell you the scene. They end up at conferences walking up to me saying, oh, you have 2 bad people on your show. I mean, come on. This guy needs a hug. It's time to get positive. Stop watching the bad news. You want to get more customers? They say in speaking, don't point. I'm going to point. You want new customers? Stop watching the bad news. Develop your charisma. Be positive. Make sure your team is positive. Make your team watch this. If you like this, share it with a friend. That's this week's report.